welcome, welcome, welcome. So, yes, I am super excited. I had this amazing idea to start a small group for seeing myself in a new light. And so this evening, I invited people sort of last minute, I would say, because I did it this afternoon, invited people to join this live Zoom, which I am recording because I don't know that people are going to be able to do things last minute. I had several people who were curious but said, I'm not able to make it because of my schedule this evening. So I am recording this. This is going to be put out on a replay so that if you were unable to make this introduction to my new small group, then you will be able to get all the information. All right. And I wanted to give a feel for what this small group is going to be like, how it's going to be set up, because like I said, there are people who have been curious and wanting to do it. But I also know people really aren't sure quite what to expect and how it will all be done and set up. So I am going to share my screen. And let's see here. Share screen. Let me just bring this up a little bit. As you see, I have had a lot of tabs open. I have been working along on so many different things today. So I'm going to go right into the small group, the small study group. All right, so I set it up in Google Classroom so that anyone who joins the small group will always be able to have lifetime access. It's not going anywhere unless Google goes someplace. I don't think they are planning on going anywhere. They seem to like their business a lot. So I think that it will be fine. You will have lifetime access here. And if you join the group but do not want to or cannot make a, meeting, we will be meeting every Wednesday evening at 8 o'clock. But my thinking is that maybe there'll be more than one small group because maybe Wednesdays at 8 p.m. will not work for everyone. So I'm also thinking of doing a small group for maybe like a Monday morning or a Tuesday evening, something, that also accommodates people's schedules. Because I also know that Wednesday, one person in particular already told me I'm interested, but it's not a good time for me. So the title of the small group is Seeing Myself in a New Light, and it's right here, right? Light is very important to me because I have been a professional photographer. For those of you who do not know me, let me introduce myself. I just started right in. So my name is Beth Brown, and I was and still am a professional photographer for over 10 years. And photography actually in Greek means drawing with light. What happens if we have no light? It's kind of hard to see, right? And when it's kind of hard to see, you either can't draw at all, or maybe the light is very dim, and so you just kind of are making a really messy drawing, right? So it's important that we have light because light is what we can use to see by. And sometimes when we've been hurt, or sometimes when we're in a confused relationship or situationship or something, it's just hard to get that light to work. So light actually stands for something important. Love imparts great healing today. So using light and love, this small group is going to be helping those who are members be able to draw their success stories. using love, using light, using clarity. I am going to get into how the class is just set up a little bit more. And then I'm going to show you what the tool number 1 is. Let me put this on mute. So I'm going to show you what tool number 1 is. And in my opinion, tool number 1, it's number 1 because it's the basis for this whole study group. The study group actually is something that will meet weekly over the course of 3 months, because there are 21 tools, and each week we will do and go through a tool. So the first thing is that in our Google Classroom, everyone who joins the group will be able to see the homepage where there's important information. I've already put here a confidentiality agreement. This group will be safe for everyone. So anyone who's like, I'm not sure I want to join a small group, what if people gossip? No. There's a confidentiality pledge everyone in the group will be taking. It's right here. Let me click on it. You will be, when you join the group, making a copy file, make a copy, and you will be signing it and agreeing that what happens and what is said in the group stays in the group. And that's it. No gossip. No, none of that. Love only. All right. And now I also have some bonus features. One of them is already put up: 6 techniques to release anxiety or overwhelm and settle down your thoughts. Because let's face it, right? Things in the future are not certain. Sometimes we get ahead of ourselves, or things from our past sometimes overwhelm us in the present. And so as a result, I have a bonus that's already up, and there'll be some more bonuses as the group goes through the 3 months that I'll be adding here for people to access. I will say I am a Christian confidence coach. You do not have to be Christian to join the group. However, if you are not Christian, you will need to be open to Christianity, to the principles, to the precepts of Christianity, because that is what everything is based on. And I'm also not a therapist, and this is a small group. So we're discussing and we're working on transforming our mindsets, and we're transforming our spiritual lives and our physical lives, right? So this is a life transformational group, but it is not meant to replace therapy. So I have here resources for all group members that they can use if they are already having and working with a therapist, but they feel like the therapist isn't working, maybe finding a new therapist, shopping around, or maybe they haven't sought any therapy. And like, as we're going through things, right? Maybe some of the group members will be like, it would be nice to have also some therapy as well. So there's resources there. And then our Zoom meeting links. All right, so let's get right into it. So the actual tools that we'll be doing each week are under the classwork section. But so I was an educator for 20 years. I don't know how not to be a teacher, even though now I'm a mentor and a coach, right? I don't know how to not be a teacher. Sometimes I amuse myself with this, is what it is, and I make no apologies about it. That being said, this is not something where, this grades, no one's graded. There is no one right way or no one wrong way. Well, maybe a wrong way, right? Using substance abuse or like some sort of abuse of your body, right, is not a good way to heal, right? But in general, there's no one correct way to experience healing. So as a result, there's no grades. It's just the classwork section where we're going to do tool number 1 today. I'm going to go through it, but I'm just going to show you the layout so far. So step 1 is all about transforming our mindsets, renewing our minds. The Bible says that we are to become new men, new women by the continual renewing and refreshing of our minds, right? Where our mindset is, where we are in our brain and our thinking process is where our spirit, our heart is going to go, is where our feet are going to point in that direction. So each step takes a month to go through. Well, actually a little bit over a month because there's seven steps. But it's 21 weeks altogether. So the first step is actually, like, I guess I would say a month and a half. Let me make that a little more clear. Step 1 is all about mindset transformation. All right. And in that there are different tools. So tool 1 has posted so that people who are in the group are not overwhelmed with information and be like, oh my goodness, this is too much. TMI. Each week, a new tool will post on the morning before we meet. And so today's Wednesday morning. So today, Wednesday, right? This was available and you can go through the information prior to our 8 p.m. meeting. So next Wednesday, tool 2, I think I programmed it to be at 5 in the morning or maybe 8 in the morning. I can't remember. It's going to post automatically into the group. You'll be able to look through it. Think of questions you have, just kind of like mull ideas over. Hello, welcome. And so yes, you'll be able to, I don't see a name. Drop your name in the chat. Welcome. I am going over how our small group is set up. So I thank you for joining us. I am looking to see where I can find the chat. If you put your, let's see, how do I show chat? How do I bring that up? I was going to say, if you put your name in the chat, we can chat. Or you can also, are you on mute? You can also take yourself off of mute too. And
hey, it's Fadia.
Oh, Fadia, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I saw that you had joined the Zoom, I think like around 5 o'clock or 4:30, right?
Yeah, because Guillory had sent it to me, but he didn't send me the time, and I logged in and he told me, and then I asked him, he said it was at 8.
Yeah, it's at 8. It's at 8. So welcome. You said Wilner sent it to you?
Guillory.
Oh, Guillory. I let a couple of people know. Oh, so
yes,
that's how you found out about it. Yes, Guillory's awesome, isn't he?
Yes, he definitely is.
Yes. So I was just going over the steps. So everything for this small group is going to be in Google Classroom, and all the group members will have lifetime access. Well, I'm guessing it will be lifetime access because I'm guessing Google is planning on sticking around for our lifetimes. They don't seem to be going anywhere, right? So it's going to always be in Google Classroom. So you'll always be able to, get the information and refresh it. Like, say a year from now, you're like, what was that I learned about mindset transformation and love, right? Which we're going to actually be doing tool 1 today in a minute. And then you're like, oh, let me go back and I can refresh my memory on it, right? So it will be always there for you, but it's also just like an easy way to organize for like small group format. I was a teacher for 20 years. So I'm like, how do I organize a small group so that everyone has the information? It doesn't get all like crazy and cluttered, So I decided Google Classroom because it's pretty easy to put up for everyone to be able to access. And also, let me just go over this. The title of our small study group is Seeing Myself in a New Light. And light actually means something very important to me because I'm a photographer. And light in Greek means, photography in Greek means drawing with light. And like a lot of times when our mindset is off, like things aren't really bright and clear. They're confusing, they're painful, they can be, in my experience, even dark. And so the stories that our life starts telling aren't the ones that we want to be living. But when we have light and we also put it with love and learn what love is or is not, which is something that took me years to figure out. I was doing it all wrong. Love imparts great healing today. So light also is that. So everything is based off of, the group is based off of like writing our own success stories for our professional and our personal lives. And using love as that light to write those success stories. But we have to, like, you know, sometimes, a lot of times, I personally had to redefine even what love meant. So in order to do that. So that's the title of our group. Stream has a confidentiality pledge all members will sign so that everyone feels safe. I will be putting bonuses in here. This is like 6 techniques to release anxiety or overwhelm and settle down your thoughts on those days when your mind is just like turning and spinning. I don't know if you've ever had days like those.
Yeah, I have days like that sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. So that is there as a resource. And this group is not ever meant to replace therapy. I am not a therapist. I'm a Christian confidence coach. I was a teacher for 20 years. I'm a professional photographer, and I personally had to learn how to heal and redefine my identity after going through a traumatic physical trauma, rape, and then heartbreak, someone different. So that story is for a different day, but everything is like taught from my learned experience, my research. And from a Christian perspective. So there's also therapy, counseling resources as well in the stream. And then also our Zoom link so that it's just easy for people to get to. And do you have any questions?
No, I don't.
Okay. So yes, so step 1, the program is broken into 3 steps. Which is 21 weeks. Each week we meet, we will do a step. So, we'll cover one tool in the step. So for the first 7 weeks, step 1 is all about our mindset and transforming our mindset and getting it right. So today my thinking was, let's do tool number 1 so that people have a little bit more, better idea of what the group would be like. These other tools will be posted the morning of the group meeting. Hey, Schneidine, welcome. Step 2, I haven't put it up there yet, but I'm going to be working on that very soon, is all about heart healing. So here's the thing that I personally have found in my own healing is that I don't know, Fadia, do you have a Christian background? This is open to non-Christians, but
yeah, I'm Catholic, so I also have been working on my strengthening my faith. So yeah, I do.
Okay. So I've done this program with someone who was a totally different faith, so it can be done. It's just that if someone is of a different faith, they need to be open to Christianity principles because it's all based on that. But we are, mind, we are body, and we are spirit. And a lot of times, like, church only takes care of the spirit part. And other places may only take care of like college, right? Or just even like high school, right? Those places just kind of take care of, I don't really know what they take care of. And I was a teacher for 20 years, I guess our minds, but not even so much mindset always, right? And then we can kind of be unbalanced, right? And out of alignment, which is how, like, I personally had a master's degree, but so I was successful professionally, but like my relationship life romantically was way out of kilter with things that I was choosing, right? Because my heart wasn't healed and my mindset actually in many ways was broken about just, I didn't understand things. So I put this together to deal with all parts of us, so that we can work on healing our thoughts, our mindset. We can work on healing our hearts, and we can work on also like the physical life, the practical physical life around us transformations, because we are, multiple people. Like we're three parts really. That's how God created us. So yes. So are you ready to get into like what tool number 1 looks like?
Sure.
Sure. And someone else joined us. Oh, Lisa. Hi, Lisa. I see you when
Hi, how are you, Beth?
Good. How are you doing?
Blessed. So good to hear you and see you.
Yes, thank you. So I put this in like a little Google Doc for today because not everyone has access to the Google Classroom. And I was like, you can't bring it really up on your own screen. So let me put it into like a larger format. But this document is the same thing as here. So yes. So like I was saying earlier, like seeing myself in a new light is very important. All right. And the basis of this light and being able to get everything else in alignment in our lives is love. This has been my experience. But a lot of times we have a misunderstanding. So the goal for tool number 1 is, anyone want to read it? Let me see if I can. This might be the teacher in me coming out, but does anyone want to read what our goal is?
Sure. It says begin changing your perspective about you.
Yes. So we have to do a perspective shift. What I was doing wrong was I was like, this is not working in this relationship. This person needs to change. This person, why is this person not doing what I want? Why is he behaving this way? Why won't he do X, Y, Z? Beth, what about you? It really had to begin with me. So AKA, otherwise known as see yourself in a new light. All right. So let's talk about what seeing means. Seeing actually has to do with perception, like our perception of things. So it's always good to define things. So does anyone want to like read what perception means, or like, anyone want to read the definition? If not, I can.
Yes, definition of perception: a result of perceiving, observation, or B, a mental image, concept.
Yes, thank you. So here's some other synonyms. So that sounds interesting, like observation and concept, mental image, right? That visualization. But it's always interesting to know like what other words go with perception. So we have like discernment, insight, perceptiveness, perceptivity, sageousness. I think I'm saying it right. Sagacity, sageness, which is all, and sapience, which is, these are all like fancy words for wisdom. So how we see ourselves, right? Seeing has to do with being wise and discerning. And then like, does anyone else have any thoughts about it?
No, but I think you're right along the path, right? It starts, I mean, just for me as a therapist, I work a lot with my clients on like their perception of things, and then when they say certain things, and I said, where did you get that view from? Where is that perception coming from? So it's important to understand your own view on things, which will help you understand like your interactions and like how you view the world and how you respond to the world and to people. So like having, perception is definitely something, huge.
Yeah, like our actual concept, right? And then was there anything else that stood out to anyone before I say the other thing that like you were saying, the concept and the perception? Fadia, did anything else stand out to any of you guys? in the words. So the other thing that stood out to me was observation. So when I think of observation, or even when you think of observation, what do you think of? Like science, right? A lot of times you're in like scientists observe things, right? Or maybe you think of like nosy people who are always like trying to spy on whatever. But I think mostly about observation. Sometimes we are in the moment and we're so busy doing things or like fussing at another person, whether it's a coworker, whether it's a partner, that we don't just like sit back and observe them. And we're so much spent in our time of like seeing our perception, our perspective, seeing how we want to be like respected or admired, that we don't take the time to even observe our environment, observe the other person or people. Like we don't just sit with it. Or maybe I was the only one like who wanted to just rush through things. But observation is really important. And it's like a great way to begin seeing yourself and other people in a different way, is just by like stopping like the judgment part and just observe like you were a stranger, like you were just like the fly on the wall. So here's what, did I leave the link out? I have to go back into the Google Classroom. That's no problem. Okay, so here's the thing about love, our perception, our observation, our viewpoints, right? So my observations of love growing up as a child, right, from my friends, from books that I read, kind of gave me a really crooked view of what love was. I had a weird definition. So just like we defined what perception was, I think it's important to define what love is, because then it gives us like a slightly different point of view when we start to look at ourselves or someone else. So I'm going to give you guys a link, but we can just talk about it. You don't actually have to do it. Or if you have like a piece of paper with you, you can, of course, just write it out. But how do you define love? So I was thinking my plan, because this was like how I would really do it if we were, if like the three of you actually were small group members, is I would give, and I want people to take time to like reflect and everything on what we're doing. So take a moment. I'm going to give you, I think I'm going to give you a link. This was like back in my teacher days. I loved this little thing. It was called Padlet, where you could like write and share ideas. I'm going to drop it in our, how do I get the chat up though? That's my question. Let me like minimize this.
Bottom. Are you using your laptop? Are you on the Zoom?
Yeah.
If you go on your Zoom app, it should be on the bottom. No. In your actual Zoom.
Yeah, I did. It wasn't popping up when I had the full screen. I don't know why. I had to like minimize the screen and then it popped up for me. But thank you. Yes. Okay, so I put the link here. So if you want, you can click the link and you can like type out what, oh, I see why. Haha, I see why. You can type out what your definition of love is, how you define it. Or you can just like journal it out. I'm gonna give you guys like 3 minutes. I'm gonna play some music so you guys feel relaxed and everything. But I want to give you guys some time. I'm sorry if you can tell me to tone the teacher down. I will do my best. But yes. So yeah, does anyone have any questions though? Oh, okay. So yeah, I'll just do music for 3 minutes. You can journal. All right. Did you guys have a chance to like write down your thoughts about how you define love? Does anyone need more time to just think and meditate on it?
I'm actually putting something on the tablet.
Oh, okay. So yeah, take your time. I'm gonna play music for like another minute or so. Yeah. Thanks. Thank you. All right. So I'm so curious. Let's see. I didn't look as, let's see here. Let me open the Padlet up. Let's see. Oh, you didn't have a chance to post it yet. That's all right. So did anyone have any thoughts about how they see love, what their perception of it is, how they've observed it, what their definition is? That they wanted to share out. If you don't feel comfortable sharing out, that's also totally okay. You do not have to. So for me, oh, Lisa, cool. There it is. Being a woman of faith. Did you want to read yours or did you want me to read it for you?
You can read it.
Okay.
It's really short. It's just, it's really short.
It looks like it because I'm seeing an acronym and I said I hadn't thought of it that way. That's why I wanted to do a study group too, because like when we're by ourselves and we're thinking in our heads, like our thoughts can get really twisted. And then when we say things out loud, it can like become really clear and we can also like learn really cool things about something, you know, from each other. Like, oh, I never thought of that. And so, you know, it's always good to get our thoughts out. Being a woman of faith, I always refer to our Bible, basic instructions before leaving Earth. Wow, I love it. In finding understanding on things in my life. So 1 Corinthians, love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. It does not demand its own way. It is not irritable. Ooh, that's a hard one for me, especially when I'm angry. I don't know about anyone else. It's a good reminder. And it keeps no records of being wrong. It does not rejoice about injustice. Wow. But rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. Yes, I love it. I love it because it's something that doesn't change, like ever. What made you, do you want to share anything about like what made you, or what inspired you to, is it just because you're a woman of faith or was there a particular part in that verse that stood out to you or to anyone else in the group that you really?
Well, first and foremost, when you asked us to define love, the first thing that came to me is love is as the stem. And then instinctually, I went to my understanding of scripture.
Yeah.
So the fact that it's patient and kind, and especially that it keeps no record of being wrong. It's so hard.
Yes.
It's a challenge to be able to, they say, to forgive and forget.
Yeah.
So, I can forgive, but it's the point of forgetting it and not having it be forefront of your mind when you're dealing with that same person or in that same situation again.
Yes. I agree. That is really hard. And forgiveness is a whole thing by itself. So actually, that's something that is step 2 with the heart healing. That's what I go into in addition to other things with this this study group. My plan is to, but I mean, obviously I think forgiveness is something that will come up over and over again, you know, for us. But what does that actually mean? Keeping no record of wrong? Like, what does that really mean? Does that literally mean literal, or is there something else to it? And how does that look? You know, that's like actually something that we kind of would delve into for, if you decide to join the study group, we would really go into depth on looking for step 2. And I have a whole forgiveness journal that I want to bring into the step 2. So, yeah, it's hard. Fadia, did you have any thoughts that you wanted to share out?
I think just the definition you guys and what you said kind of capture how I define love. I think more for me, love is defined by the care of myself, the how I my intention for the day. I tend to, you know, when you tend to do for others, and sometimes we get lost within, like loving someone else, and so we expect like the same love to be reciprocated. But if you're not loving yourself and don't know how you're supposed to be loved, it's hard to kind of expect other people to love you the same. So love for me, it's being patient with myself. It's being positive. It's reframing any negative thoughts that may show up, and to pay attention and observe my internal dialogue that I have with myself, and to continue to choose me and doing what makes me happy so that I can feel love and fulfill myself.
Yeah, that patience with ourselves, right? That can be tricky, because then when we're impatient with ourselves, it also bleeds over into how we're patient or not patient with others too. Yeah, that self-care is so important. Yep. I felt for me, I needed to literally keep it as simple as I could. So similar to Lisa, as well as you, Fadia, I did get my idea of kindness by looking at Anonymous. Not sure who that is, but maybe it's Schneidine. She left our group, but maybe she posted it. So another way to look at it, these things will last forever: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love. Yeah, it's good. These things will last forever. Like, they will never, ever go away. When this earth no longer exists, faith, hope, and love, I don't know how they're going to exist. I don't know what that will look like. It will still be around. Like planet Earth, right? We know is not going to be here forever. Because God says he's going to create a new heaven and a new earth anyway. So I don't know how faith, hope, and love last, but somehow they last. And that's kind of like an interesting thing to like imagine, even like how it could last forever. But love is the greatest out of all of them. Like, it doesn't matter. You could have all the hope in the world, but if you're doing it in hate, it's not good. You could have all the faith in the world that God's going to rain down like judgment and like destroy someone's life who destroyed your life, right? Vengeance, right? That anger, that hard to forget, even if you've forgiven, right? But love, that's the greatest. That's so true. It's a good reminder. So yeah, I kept it very simple and just was like kindness. That's it. That's all I have to remember. I took it from the Bible, from the same area that you chose it from, Lisa, but I made it super simple because as a perfectionist, it can be the hardest, my worst critic, my harshest critic. And so kindness felt like the best way to focus on healing for myself. And that's why the beautiful thing is that there's no one right way to heal. We all have this definition, right, of love. But here's where it gets interesting. Oops. And this is where things can get a little dicey. At least they have for me in the past. So you got your current definition. I have my definition. And here's the honest conversations that we have to have with ourselves, because if we can't have honest conversations, we can't move forward in healing. And we can't move forward and write our own success stories. We want to be honest, but without judgment. Does my definition match how I perceive and treat myself? And is it in alignment with how I treat others? Now, you could do like a general thinking about this, or you could, the next time, remember, perception has to do with what? From observation, right? So you could, I can, and I do. That's why this is a tool I use. So all these tools that are in the study group, they're tools that they can be used by themselves, or they can be used in combination with one another. Like you might use tool 1 and tool 7 together in a situation that you're struggling with. But yes, so if I'm in a situation and I'm irritated with someone, and I'm like, they don't get me, they don't understand me, I'm mad at them, they didn't meet my expectation, they broke their word. My expectation was they promised me something, that they were going to do what they promised, they didn't do it. Now here I am cursing them out in text form or in person, right? Does my definition match how I am treating that other person? Is it in alignment with my definition of love? And we're never going to be perfect, but ideally, in order for our relationships to have success, we want to do our best without like stuffing and shoving. I'm not saying not to acknowledge your emotions or pretend them away, or forgive someone before you're ready and be like, I'm going to forgive you because I have to. And then like, I'm just moving forward and you just like plow through it all. I'm not talking about that. But just like sitting back, chilling, so to speak, with a cup of tea, some music, your preference, usually instrumental or something, just like putting your feet up, getting a journal out, or just like even thinking, just sitting there and being like, okay, so this happened. Is it in alignment with my definition of love? And like, you could do it even for today, like looking back at your definition. When I was at the grocery store, did my definition of love, does it match how I treated the cashier? Does it match how I treated the people that I was shopping with in the grocery store, or wherever it was, at work with your coworker? Does my definition of love, does it match? Am I like walking in alignment? And of course, we're human, we're not perfect, it's not always going to be that way. But when we have, you know, the observation to see how we are with ourselves, even like, how did I speak to myself when I made that mistake? Was I kind to myself and been like, okay, Beth, not your best effort, but it's okay, you've got another try again at it tomorrow, whatever it was. Or am I beating myself up? How much am I in alignment and how much am I not in alignment? And the more we are in alignment with our definition, the easier it's going to be for us to write success stories. So that is pretty much it. That's tool number 1. Did anyone have any thoughts or want to say anything or share anything? Oh, no, that's a photo guide. That's not what I have too many tabs. I just start clicking on things. Sorry about that. Did anyone have anything they wanted to share or think about? So yes. So these are just, like I said, observations we can make. And there's no one way or wrong way to do it. It can be just like in conversation. It can be thinking. It can be through journaling, however you want to do it. But this is the big question for the tool, matching it with the definition. So, now, were you interested in how group membership works or not for the study group?
Most definitely would listen.
Okay. All right. So, oops, nope, I'm going in the wrong direction. I want to go in this way. Okay. So this is basically how it is. It's like 3 months. So step 1, we did like the first lesson, which is mindset transformation, and it's all literally based on love, really. And getting that in alignment, and it will go through all the tools that way. But forming new thought patterns to win self-esteem battles in your mind, developing a new personal vision, and learning to genuinely love yourself and become free from trying to earn love from others, because this program is not meant to manipulate anyone. I had someone once, they were interested in the program and they were like, I want these people to treat me differently. I can't make someone else. I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't get this person who you want to change. I can't get them to change. And if I could, that would really actually be manipulation and really unhealthy. So this program, this study group, it is centered on us, on our transformation of our mindsets. And as a result, our relationships and our life stories, personally and professionally, will begin transforming and changing. So that's why it's based on you and not other people, because we can't control others. We can only really take control of our lives, which is like actually really great. It's kind of freeing knowing that. The second step, it's like month 2, although there's like seven steps for 7 tools for each step, is heart healing. So the mind, because as spiritual beings, we are body, mind, and spirit. God created us in 3 parts. So this program goes and addresses those 3 parts. So heart healing is more of a spiritual aspect of transformation. That's going into, you know, what we touched on a little bit earlier this evening, into a place of forgiving yourself, those people who hurt you. Did you have a question?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you had a question or a comment.
And I was just yawning.
Oh, okay. So it's going that way, no longer requiring ourselves to be perfect, like that perfectionism or performance, and feeling free from shame and self-judgment. Also learning how to fight and win spiritual battles that keep repeating in our lives, because sometimes there's actually a spiritual block. And that part I also go into as well. For why we have like repeated rejections or anger patterns or whatever. Even in the Bible, you'll see that like Moses, he struggled with anger, but actually it went back generations prior. It was like almost a spirit of anger. So there's also like that spiritual aspect as well that we talk about for like spiritual warfare, basically. Step 3, month 3 is life transformation. So that's going through decluttering your life, seeing yourself as a masterpiece. There's some art that goes in with this, because I am an artist. I was like, I have to put some art into this. And the end result, walking regally into rooms, knowing who and whose you are, free from the perfectionism, the people pleasing, feeling unworthy, or any of the other things that you may be like finding as a struggle that you've been working through in the other steps, previous steps. So what you get in the study group is lifetime access to the program, which will be up in Google Classroom. It's not going to go anywhere. And then I just put here the prices, which is like $500. I do, if you're not interested in group coaching, actually it is available on Teachable for just, if you want to just do an independent. It's $500, but the weekly coaching, actually, yeah, that's 1,000. And then there's also like, we do a lot of like goal setting and accountability. So like being in a group also helps you keep accountable, and keep going, and having your other group members as well as me for that encouragement. You also get a non-judgmental listening ear, kind honest guidance. Trust me, I have screwed up so much. I am not in the position to be judging anyone. So it's kind of, but honest. Insight for combining and using the seeing myself in a new light tools to meet your unique needs. Because like I was saying earlier, you can combine the tools together, and support guidance with transforming your thought life, your heart from broken to healing, as well as your perceptions about your body, or just even your physical space. So there are some free bonuses as well, because in this second part as well, I plan to use the journal with the study group. So I have a 20-day forgiveness journal, but you get 2 copies, one for you, one for a friend. Because right, that's the whole point of having a friend, right? As friends, we like iron sharpens iron. We want to build our friends up and help encourage them along too. I have finding the time, make time to work in your favor. A mini course, you get access to that, although we actually are going to be doing part of that in the program in step 1. And you get a free copy of How to Take a Fabulous Self-Portrait, which I just changed the title of today, How to Take a Professional Self-Portrait. If you are a business owner, entrepreneur, you may want to also take your own photos and how to do that. So that's like actually, a fun little extra. So that all comes to a total of like 2,000, but the study group, I wanted to make it, this is really more like one-on-one coaching. Since it's a group, I wanted to like take a little off. So I'm going to put the links in the chat. There's a pay in full option. And in that case, well, either case, you save $200 or $720. So the pay in full is $1,080 for the 3 steps, the 21. So it's like 21 weeks. Small case study group, if you want to also do a monthly payment, because I know everyone has a different budget, is $360 a month. Let me just, oops, no, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to copy the link. I'm going to put this in. This is pay in full. That's one option. There is a monthly budget option. Right. Yep. Monthly option. And then you're like, I'm not really sure I want to do the coaching, small group, mentorship part. I'd rather do just on my own. There is independent option. I like to give people options, but then I'm like, am I giving people too many options? And I was like, you know what? No, I'm not. Oh, no, let me resend that because the link did it. There we go. So Thanksgiving week and Christmas week, I'm not sure about how that would work. We might be skipping those weeks with like the holiday schedule, but otherwise it will be once a week that we meet. Are Wednesday evenings good for you? I was thinking of also possibly opening a second study group for like a different time, like if it was better for people on Monday morning or like Tuesday evening, or Thursday evenings I'm booked with another client who I'm coaching. So Thursday evenings I'm not available, but other evenings, so even though we did this on a Wednesday evening at 8, I'm flexible on the time and the day. So is there like a better time or day for you all that you would prefer?
No, Wednesdays would be a better
Okay.
option for me. I am just considering financial
Yeah,
freedom.
I understand. So, I mean, it can, yeah, we can also talk offline if you need to do it like a weekly payment. Like I, I am definitely flexible and I can definitely work with you on that. I would say, so for me at my point, I got into a place where I was just in such a dark place that I was like just willing to do anything to get out of that dark place. And it was dark, like demonically dark. And actually the root of all of that for me was unforgiveness. And I just was so desperate to get out. I was like, I have to start making changes. And I got curious about how things would be different and how I could change things in my life. So, a lot of it for me, it has been in my own healing, like how bad did I want to change? How bad did I want to see things go differently in my life? And so, that's what I would say about that. But we can talk offline as well, about different payment options. So, and I don't know particularly also, like what it is that you would want to focus on. So like, like we can chat offline to see how I best can help you within like what you have available to work with. So if you like, I can also set up, let's see, I have to go into here. Let's see, where did it go? Appointment types. Yep. This right here. So I'm going to put here. So if you want to chat more, I'm going to put like my link. And so that last link, you can just like pick a time that is good for you. And then also for you as well, Fadia, you can just like, you want to know a little bit more information, or you wanted to see how else, I could possibly support you, then, you can always definitely set up a time to just, chat some more with me. So I put the link in there as well. But yes, so this is pretty much like what it would be. It would be, where am I here? It would be each week is a new tool. And then they're pretty good. I had to switch a lot of things about my life so that I could see myself differently. And in talking with people, I realized I was ashamed of things that I was struggling with, but a lot of people were also struggling with the same things. So I was like, then these are tools that need to go into this study group. And then, oops, no, here, this one. Also, just as a quick review, because I don't remember if you were here, Lisa, when I went over it. There's also a stream that's in the group, which shares the confidentiality pledge that everyone in the group would sign off on and agree to so that it stays safe, for everyone to feel safe. I will be adding different bonuses throughout the 21 weeks. I have already added one bonus in here for techniques to release anxiety or overwhelm and settle down your thoughts. For anyone in the study group who might find that sometimes their thoughts are going a little out of control. These are some strategies. like I said, again, at the beginning, and I do want to like really stress it, I am not a therapist. I'm not a social worker. I'm not a neuroscientist. So this is not meant to replace therapy. It's really about tools for like transforming your life personally, professionally. It's about empowering people, having the confidence. It's about the mindset transformation, a lot of it. And so if anyone in our group at any point wanted to also get additional resources to possibly, have counseling, there's also resources here, including National Suicide Prevention. And that's like even good to have, like maybe it's not you, but like maybe you're talking to a friend and a friend is like, oh, well, I feel like it's not worth being here, and this could be a resource you would have for your friends as well. So, and our Zoom meeting links. So that's pretty much how it's set up. And then I'll be building this out. It's already done. It's just, I have to post it in here. So yes, everything will be up fully. But did you have any other questions before we ended for the night?
Not right now. I've looked at all of your options and I'll prayerfully consider and
Okay.
reach out.
All right. It sounds so good. It was good to see you.
Yes, I'm sorry, I'm not physically.
We'll hear
And I have a puppy and noisy, so I have her.
You have
Now
a
I have,
puppy.
yeah. Wait, hold on.
Oh my goodness.
Hold on.
Puppies are a lot of work. They're like a small baby.
Yeah, this is her.
Oh my goodness. Oh, she's so pretty. Hey, pretty puppy. What's her name?
Her name is Nella, Cottonella.
Hey, Cottonella. Oh my goodness. She looks like she just got out of the bathtub.
No,
She
she's
looks
been
so,
running trying to catch her.
oh my goodness. She looks so clean and pretty.
And she's walking around and smelling. So I'm like, what is she smelling? What is she sniffing?
Oh, yeah, because right after they start smelling, it can go to chewing. I know. They're
Yeah.
they're puppies and they smell.
So this is my life lately.
Oh, Nella. It's nice to meet you. She's so sweet. How old is she?
She just 2 weeks ago she turned a year.
Oh, she's a big puppy.
Yeah. She's her mom is a Maltese and a Shih Tzu, and her dad is a Westie.
Oh, oh.
To meet Nicolette, and she goes crazy when she meets new people. She's just like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably from her mother's side. They're more yippy, like
yeah,
excitable, and like when someone comes to the door and someone new comes in.
yeah.
Yep.
So I'm learning that this is my first dog, so
You guys are gonna learn a lot together.
road, as they say.
Yes. But you made it through like the first 3 weeks of having a dog, so
Yeah,
because you've had her for almost a year, right?
yeah. I know I've had it. Well, yeah, I've had it for 7 months, 8 months.
Yeah.
8 months.
Yeah.
Had it since January.
You got through the hard part of like the potty training and all of that.
And she's gotten long from the time I got her, because I got her, she was 2 months. Hold on,
Yeah.
she's long now.
Oh, she's look, and look at that tail. She's got a nice fluffy tail.
Yeah, but she just got groomed on Saturday. Yeah.
Oh,
I know, but this is what I go through every time I pick her up.
yeah, yeah, you asked for it. She's like,
know.
Mom, you asked for my
I call
love.
her my protector because my dad is physically not well. He's in his last days. So I've been down to see him, and I take her with me. She's licensed as a support animal in ESA, and whenever like I have it's so amazing to me. Whenever I'm going through anything, she'll come and she'll ball up like right in my belly, or she'll ball by my head, or she'll ball up by my feet,
Yeah,
and she's just laying there and
yeah,
my little protector.
yeah.
And
Dogs
she
have
to the door.
that sixth sense, so to speak, and they just know. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But thank you so much, my lady Beth, cousin Beth.
Yes, we're like family. You never know.
I know, right? Somewhere down the line.
Yes. All right. Well, it was good seeing you. And like I said, you can always reach out to me as well.
Yes,
Through those links. Yep.
yes.
All
All
right.
right, thank you very much.
Good night. Good night, Nella.
All right, take care.
You too.